everybody. Throwing a leg over the Indian Springfield Dark Horse. In the past, this was one of my favorite bikes. I got the power button, which powers the bike on. No fancy gauges here, just the analog gauge in standard mode. Oh, that is a nice sound. All right, floorboards, pretty low ride height. Nice clutch engagement. Oh, and that sound, holy crap, that sounds good. Oh, that front brake requires a pretty good pull. Here we go. Let's scoot up in this seat. Here we go. All right, so this is a different riding position here. I love the way this bike looks at approach. This fin that they have on the front headlights, these handlebars that sweep back towards you, these wide, kind of the wide stance of these handlebars. It's just it's confidence instilling. It feels mean. It feels cool. This Dark Horse model is just all blacked out. Really, really like it. Even though you got that strong rumble from the exhaust, these mirrors aren't shaking all that much, so you're not losing a whole lot of visibility. Oh, but it just sounds so good. I believe you got all LED lighting. Let's talk a little bit about the controls. I like to try and do these reviews, test riding reviews, fairly methodically, so that we aren't jumping around too much. But let's start off with the controls. Pretty simple. We've got a little bit of a trip toggle, I believe, with the trigger here on the right, which is going to give you some different views on your screen. Ride mode, clearance, or I don't know what that was. Oh, rear cylinder deactivation. That's for heat dissipation. When you're sitting at a stoplight, it's going to deactivate the rear cylinder to make less heat for you. Ride mode. And let me see, is there an RPM? That's not it. No tachometer from what I can see. And then you got the manual gas gauge and then a place to plug in. That looks proprietary though. That doesn't look like a standard plug. I have information that for you on the screen since I don't know. Oh, this is just standard ride mode? Holy crap. All right. And then you hold that trigger down to get back into the ride mode you're in, which is just standard. We got the ThunderStroke 116 V twin engine, and we'll have a horsepower and torque number for you as we just surged off the line there. And you got the mean sound, a little bit of wind deflection from this giant front headlight. So yeah, this is the road king of Indian motorcycles, I believe. And man, if I had to choose between the Road King, and I've loved the Road King for years, but if I had to choose between the Road King and the Springfield, man, the Springfield is just so nice. We'll talk about riding position here, which is the next thing that I like to check off. So you've got these giant floorboards. There's no heel shifter here, so there's lots of room for feet. I'm 5'6" with a 30-inch inseam. My shoe size is 10.5, and there's plenty of room for my foot here on this floorboard. I mean, I can put my feet all the way back, so it feels like almost like rear controls, and then you got like a mid control here, and then if I want to stretch out and put my feet up on this footboard, it feels like front controls. Yeah, so this bike is equipped with ABS, and we'll talk about before we go into the brakes, because I just thought of it. When I give that right front brake a tug, I feel like it really needs the help from the rear brake as well, because this is a big bike. When as shipped, it's 758 pounds. For a touring bike, you know, this bike has a bunch of cases on the back. It's got the top case and the panniers, so it's, you know, you add that weight to it along with those are accessories, so we're looking probably closer to 800 pounds curb weight, and I'll have the exact specification down here for you. Oh my word, that is fun. Come on, stay green. Nice. Yeah, So the riding position, it's kind of funny because these footboards are up a little higher than I'm used to on a footboard, which makes me feel like I'm leaning back a little bit. And then this seat, which is very comfortable, has a passenger pillion. It's a one-piece seat, and it's making it so I don't slide back, along with the fact that the material on the seat is very grippy. So there's that too. But it feels very relaxed. I would like for the seat maybe to cup up a little bit more in the back, so it does feel a little bit more like, even because I'm leaning back, this feeling like I'm leaning back. Just for somebody who's shorter especially, it does feel like a bit of a stretch for my arms. I think I already mentioned my arm length's about 68, 69 inches. But it's not uncomfortable. I will say though, like if I was to ride this bike for longer distances, that if Indian has a seat that can bring me forward a little bit more, which would be really nice. But really, if I'm just taking this bike out to commute and for shorter rides, which you're gonna want to ride longer on a bike like this, it's got all the tools to do that. Yeah, not the greatest riding position for someone that's my height, but I'd say probably if you're like 5'10" or above, you're gonna be really comfortable on this bike. It does look like there's a plug here for an option to put, I've seen on other Springfields, like auxiliary lights. So I believe that's another option you can put on here. But yeah, the sound, all the power, and I'm loving this. The aesthetic of this bike and the power of this bike is something that really is alluring. Again, for someone my height, the comfortability of it isn't the best. But I would say if I was to put a number out of 10 on it, I'd probably say like 6.5, 7 out of 10 for someone my height. It's nothing about the seat comfort because the seat is soft. It's more just about the position in general. It feels like I'm kind of leaning my torso back. And I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys have a Springfield and you're a shorter rider, let me know in the comments how it feels to you. All right, so we're gonna see if we can change the ride mode here. I'm gonna hold this trigger down. See if it starts blinking. No. Oh, there we go. Standard, Tour, Sport. We're gonna put it on Tour as we get onto these little side city roads. And then I'm gonna hold the trigger down again. Takes me back to ride mode. Yeah, we're in Tour. And you can tell that we're in Tour because the throttle response here it's still pretty touchy, but it's not in standard mode. You were definitely getting a lot more. We got this kind of wide sweeping slow return here. Yeah, the bike's super confident there. That's very nice. Even at 700, in the high 700 pound range, this bike doesn't necessarily feel it. Now I haven't like walked to the bike or tried to back it out, but just the feeling of here as I'm riding the motorcycle and as we're doing these slow speed turns and at stop signs, it feels very maneuverable for a bike that's this big, and you don't necessarily feel the weight. I will say, riding the Sport Chief earlier, that bike kind of did feel like you could feel the weight, like the top heaviness of it, but the balance of this motorcycle is really nice, and the lower center of gravity I'm sure is helping. But yeah, this has a great feel to it, and for a large motorcycle, is very maneuverable. Okay, and in Tour mode, again, the response here and the throttle is manageable. This is by no means a bike that someone is gonna just learn how to ride and jump on this as their first bike. This is definitely something you're gonna want to graduate to. But definitely, if you're somebody who's maybe looking at a touring bike, like one of the larger, like the Power Plus 112, the new Indian Chieftain, and like the Challenger or the Roadmaster, if you're looking to graduate to something like that and it maybe feels a little intimidating to you, let's see if we can get it back. Oh, I can't get it back into sport mode. That's gonna be a pain. I don't really want to go because there we go. sport mode. Oh, here we go. Wanted to get it into sport mode before we got on the highway, and here we go. Oh yeah, see, leaning into that turn. Oh. And here's where that lean back in this riding position doesn't lend well towards being in sport mode and getting all the power of this 116 ThunderStroke V-twin engine. The power is so easy. And one of the things I noticed on the Harley touring bikes that with the Milwaukee 8 engine is that when you get going, like the rumble of the engine feels less, and it's not the case here on the ThunderStroke 116. Oh, we weren't even in 6th gear. Holy crap! Yeah, you really feel that the engine vibration on acceleration. You know, when I'm just riding here, it's not as drastic. But when I accelerate, you feel that. And the sound is so nice. Okay, well, I'm getting all caught up with aesthetics and with and things that don't matter maybe so much to people other than myself. But let's talk about brakes. Let's talk about suspension because those go hand in hand often in my videos. So this comes equipped standard with ABS. We'll give it a hard stop as we get off the highway. This bike is super comfortable, and you can tell that the suspension is tuned for comfortability. I don't think that there's any suspension adjustment for the front, but I think there's probably at least a preload suspension adjustment for the rear, and we'll have that information for you on the screen here. But yeah, this bike is really comfortable, and these roads here in California aren't the greatest, but what I can tell you is that it's eaten up the undulations and the imperfections in these subpar California highway and size frontage road. Oh, when you put it into 6th gear and you roll on again, that was exhilarating. All right, if we can get up ahead of these cars, there's nobody behind me, I can give it a hard stop here to get off the highway. Yeah, it's higher speed, sweeping turn. Yeah, this bike feels like it can lean pretty decently too. And what I will say is, yeah, see, leaning pretty good. This will be a good lean here off, and we've got this uphill incline. Oh yeah. Yeah, oh my gosh, I think I already said on a previous video that the Sport Scout was my favorite Indian motorcycle. What's funny is the Sport Scout has the new Speed Plus V-twin engine in it, the 1250. I've ridden the Sport Chief, which I believe also has this same engine in it, but I've really liked the engine, the way it's tuned, the way it feels, along with the exhaust on this bike over the Sport Chief. And I'll correct myself if I made a mistake here on what bikes have what engine. But yeah, this, gosh darn. What I'll say also is, like, we've gotten on the highway. This bike's nice and warm now. I don't feel any heat coming off of that exhaust. Maybe that has to do with the rear cylinder deactivation. Maybe that just has to do with something else. But yeah, oh my gosh, so confident. Like, I feel like if I wanted to, I could keep up with that 101 Scout up there, because it's just, this bike is so confident in these turns. Okay, we're gonna give it a hard brake because I've got completely lost with everything else. Let's give it a hard brake here. Oh, locked up a little bit. What do we have? We gotta have standard ABS here. We gotta have standard ABS. ABS standard. So we did lock up that back tire a little bit, so that's interesting. Let's give it a good hard stop here. Yeah, it wants to lock up that back. I can hear the ABS kicking in, but yeah, not bad. And also, what I will note is it's not like the front end got bogged down either. So nice brakes, nice suspension, nice everything. We're at the end of this ride here. It's a nice quick ride here on the Indian Springfield Dark Horse, the 2025 model. Make sure, if you have any questions about this bike, leave them in the comments. If you enjoyed yourself, found this interesting, just enjoy coming along for the ride, make sure you hit that thumbs up down there, which is the like button, and If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Everybody, if you're out there riding, please be safe. Be kind to one another. My name is Eric. I'm that one guy, and I am out.